Hey guys, so you are getting ready to take your first test this week. So hopefully you have finished your study guide and you are checking your answers with me. So on number one, make sure you line up those decimals right over each other. Fill in any zeros when you need to. So when you add, bring that decimal straight down. So number one is 162 hundredths. Number two, we are adding a decimal on zeros, so we can line those decimals up right over each other. You don't need those two zeros at the end, but it doesn't hurt. So we're going to borrow, this becomes a 10. We're going to bring that decimal straight down. 5 minus 3 is 2, and 13 minus 4 is 9. So number 2 is 92 and 8/10. Number 3, we're going to put that first number in the box every single time. So then we got to move our decimal, move this decimal. So really it's 25 into 812.5. 25 will go into 82 three times. So 3/4 makes 75 cents. So 11 minus 5 is 6. Bring down our 2. 2/4. Bring that decimal straight up. Don't forget that, very important. So 2/4 is 50 cents. So we have 12 cents left over. And 25 will go into 125 5 times. 5/4 makes $1.25. So number 3 is 32 and a half, or 32 and 5/10, 32.5. And number 4, we line up those last digits on top of each other. So 21.4. All right, so we're going to multiply one at a time. 4 times 3 is 12, carry the 1. 4 times 1 plus 1 is 5. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 4 is 16. Going to the next number, we're going to add a 0. 4213 times 1 is 4213. Now we're going to the third number. We got to add 2 zeros. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 1, 2 times 2, and 2 times 4. We're adding 2, 8, 15, 11, 10, and 9. I think that's right. And then we have 3 numbers behind the decimal. 1, 2, 3. So our answer is 901.582. All right, I'm going a little fast because you guys should be done with this, right? And you're just checking your answers. All right, what is the greatest common factor of 24 and 48? So for 24, I'm going to write them out. 1 times 24 is 24. 2 times 12 is 24. 3 times 8 is 24. And I know that 2 times 6 is 24. And then what was the other one? 48. I know that 1 times 48 is 48. I know that 2 times 24 is 48. I know that 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 3 and what, 16 is 48. I know that 4 and 12. And I know that 6 and 8. So I think we got them all. All right, so what do you see that repeats in both? There's a 24 and there's a 24. The greatest common factor is 24. Now remember, multiples are big numbers. So 4 times 1, 4 times 2, 4 times 3, 4 times 4, 4 times 5, 12 times 1. Oh, I can stop. The least common multiple is 12. Oops, look at me. I'm writing a 21. No, Miss Richardson, it's a 12. Whoopsie. All right, number 7. Monica has 10 and a half ounces of chocolate chips. She needs 2 1/4 ounces to make 1 batch of cookies. How many batches of cookies can she make? So she's dividing her total ounces by how much it takes to make 1 batch to see how many batches she can make, right? So how do we divide mixed numbers? Well, we got to turn them into improper fractions. We're going to go around the world. 10 times 2 is 20 plus 1 is 21/2. divided by, go around the world. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. Now that we've done that, we're going to keep it, change it, flip it. We can multiply straight across and then simplify, but I'm going to divide both of these numbers by 2. So I get 21 times 2 is 42 over 9. Now, how many times if we divide 42 by 9, we know it goes 4 full times with a remainder of 6 over 9. And then look at 6 and 9, we can divide both of those by 3. So the best answer is 4 2/3. 4 2/3 is the best answer. All right, what's next? Which expression below shows the greatest common factor of 36 and 12? So I know that both of these numbers can be divided by 12, right? So when if I bring out a 12, 36 divided by 12 is 3, and 12 divided by 12 is 1. And so this is the answer. Now, even though these other answers might give you 48, which is what 36 plus 12 equals, the numbers inside still have common factors. I can still divide 6 and 12 by 6. I can still divide 18 and 6 by 6. So when you're using the greatest common factor, the numbers left in the parentheses should not have any common factors. And letter D, it doesn't even add up to be 48. It adds up to be 50 or 60 actually. All right, number 9, Joey has 40 silly bands and 12 pieces of gum for his friends. He wants to give them each the same number of silly bands and gum. What is the greatest number of friends Joey can evenly divide the silly bands and gum among? All right, so we're dividing up the 40 and the 12. So really, guys, what we're looking for is greatest common factor. So let's look at 40. 40 would be 1 times 40, 2 times 20, 4 times 10, and 5 times 8, right? And then 12 would be 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. So the biggest number they both have in common is it a 4? All right, so what is the greatest number of friends he can evenly divide the silly bands into? The answer is 4. Because, no, don't do that. Oh no, I did it, you guys, sorry. All right, so we decided the answer was 4. So basically those 4 friends would each get 10 silly bands and 3 pieces of gum, right? If he tried to give 5, this one would get 8 silly bands, but this wouldn't divide evenly. If he tried to give 10, that wouldn't work. So the answer is 4 friends. And if the question was how much would each of them, what would they each get? The answer would be 10 silly bands and 3 pieces of gum. Yeah. All right, number 10, what is the total weight of the fish caught? So we're going to add up 5.6, 4.3, 4.1, and 3.85. So now we're going to add our placeholders. So 0 plus 5 is 5, 6 is 9, 10, 18. Bring that decimal straight down. That would be 10, 14, 17. The answer is 17.85 pounds of fish. How many more pounds does Al's fish need to weigh to reach 5 pounds? How much more does it need? Well, we're going to take 5 pounds and we're subtracting from it 385. Make sure you line up those decimals. This becomes a 10. This becomes a 9. So we would have 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 8 is 1. We're going to bring that decimal straight down, and we were supposed to borrow, and that becomes a 1. So 1.15 pounds more to reach 5 pounds. Marcus has a stamp collection of 425 stamps. He wants to put the stamps into an album. 17 stamps fit on one page. How many pages? So we're going to take his total number of stamps. We're going to divide by 17. Well, 17 won't go into 4. It'll go into 42. Let's see, 3 is going to be too much. I would try 3, but I can tell it's going to be too much. I'm going to do a 2. So 2 times 7 is 14. Carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So I'm going to borrow 12 minus 4 is 8. I'm going to bring down a 5. 17 goes into 85. What? Let's see, 5. I think it might be 5. 5 times 7 is 35. Carry the 3. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. How many pages must his album have? The answer is 25 pages. How you guys doing? Are you getting them all right? Jerry has 9 pounds of cement. It takes 3/5 of a pound to make 1 cement block. How many blocks can Jerry make? So we're going to take our 9 pounds and we're going to divide it by 3/5 of a pound. How many cement blocks can he make? We're going to keep it, change it, flip it. And then I know 3 and 9 can be divided by 3. So the answer is 15 over 1, which is 15. His 9 pounds of cement can make 15 blocks. Number 14, Jared has downloaded this many songs. He wants to organize the songs into 14 equal folders. How many songs will Jared have in each folder? So we're going to take the total. We're going to divide it by 14. 14 won't go into 12, but it'll go into 120. Let's see, 9. 12. I think 9 is too much. Let's try an 8. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 3 is 11. So I subtract and get 8. Then I bring down my 4. And that would go, what, 4 times? No, 5 times. 6 times. All right, 6 times 4 is 24. Carry the 2. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. How many songs will each folder have? The answer is 86. 86. Mrs. Tate asked students to find the least common multiple of 12 and 8. So multiples are big numbers. Multiples are big numbers. Jack said the least common multiple of 6, and Logan said the least common multiple is 36. Who is correct? Show your work. All right, so I'm going to first of all show that the greatest common multiple or the least common multiple is 36, because I'm going to list the multiples of 12, which is 12 times 1, 12 times 2, 12 times 3, and 12 times 4. And then I'm going to do the same thing with 18. 18 times 1, 18 times 2 would be 36. 18 times 3, I don't even know what it is, but I could figure it out. But I don't need to, because I just showed the least common multiple. So what would be my explanation? Who is correct? I'm going to say Logan is correct. Oops, Logan is correct. And then I'm going to say, here is my work. Here is my work. And then I'm going to say, Jack found the greatest common factor, comma, not the least common multiple. Okay, so I answered the question, who is correct? I said Logan is correct, and I showed my work. Be sure to include the name of the student that is correct, and I did do that. All right. So finally, this page says the total weight of a Target basket is 5.15 pounds. The weights of the items are listed below. We have 4 pumpkins that are 0.8 pounds each. We have 5 candles that are 0.13 pounds each. One basket weighs 0.5, and one bag of candy corn, which is letter C. All right. So let's check to make sure step 1 is correct. So there's 4 pumpkins that are 0.8 times 4. It doesn't matter if you put the 4 on top or bottom. So when I multiply, I get 32, but then I have one number behind the decimal. So this one's right. 5 candles that weigh 0.13 times 5. So 3 times 5 is 15, carry the 1. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1 is 6. And we need 2 numbers behind the decimal. So this is actually not correct. If they're 0.13 pounds each, that would be 0.65 pounds, right? So number 16 says, which step contains an error in the weight? Oh, and then they added 3.2 pounds plus 0.65 pounds, which is what the actual candles are, plus the weight of the candle or whatever it is, basket. And we found 11, 12, 13. We found that that's correct, the weight of the basket and the pumpkins and the candles. So it says step 2 is incorrect because the student did not set up the problem correctly. Well, that's not true. The problem is set up correctly. That part is right. Step 2 is incorrect because they put the decimal in the wrong place. That's true. Step 2 is incorrect because they should not have multiplied by 5. Well, they should have multiplied by 5, so that's not right. So B is the right answer. And then number 17 says, which explanation needs to go with step 3? So what is this? What does this mean? I think I just showed you over here. We have the weight of the pumpkins plus the weight of the candles plus the weight of the basket. So this number has to be the total weight. I added the weight of 1 pumpkin. No, this is 4 pumpkins. That one's not right. I added the weight of all the pumpkins, candles, and the basket. That is true. I added the weight of 3 pumpkins. Nope, there was 4. I added the weights of all the pumpkins and candles. That's true, but plus the basket. But B is the right answer. All right, you guys, I hope you did great. And you guys are hopefully ready for your assessment, and you'll be taking that in your school building with your teacher. All right, guys, everybody have a great day. Good luck on your test.